In this video, we're going to demonstrate some skills regarding page breaks, line control, section breaks, formatting sections, and go-to. It's very important that you understand the power of section breaks, and it will become increasingly evident as we address issues such as headers and footers, columns, and desktop publishing features. As we start, a couple of things I want to draw your attention to. I've opened a document called History. This document can be found in your Lesson 9 Student Data folder. At the lower status bar, I want you to draw your eye to the right-hand side of our screen where we can change our views from page layout view to full screen reading view. Notice with every view that you go into, we can easily close that view or switch to a different view. Let's keep in print layout view. The second thing that you will want to always make sure to do is provide the option display on the lower part of your screen to show what section you are on. So what I've done is I've right-clicked and selected section. This will allow me to customize that status bar at the bottom so that my section will display as well. So once I've done that, you can now see the information on my screen is what section I am on, page 5 of 5, and how many words in my document. I'm going to scroll up to the very top of my document. I'm on section 1. If I scroll to the very end of my document, I'm still on section 1. So I want to begin this exercise understanding this document currently only has one section. So now that we know we have one section, section breaks or physical page breaks can often happen one of two ways. We have what are called hard breaks and soft breaks, and you've learned about both of those in the chapter. Very, very simply, a soft break is when you force a page break. I strongly recommend you never do that. It's when you place your cursor at a location where you want a page break to fall and you're using physical returns. That's just never a good idea. It creates physical space in a document that you don't need. The correct way, or a hard page break, could be Control Enter, or we could go to Insert a page break, or we could go into Page Layout, insert a break. What type of break? A page break. Those are three very simple ways to force a page break. So this keeps related information together. So if I wanted this paragraph to start on a new page, it's very easy to do so. Something that's very important to understand about page breaks. They are non-printing characters. So to get rid of a page break or to display a page break, again, from the Home tab, turning my paragraph features on, I can see my page break is a non-printing character. So to remove that page break is very simple by simply selecting that page break and deleting it, and I've now removed that page break. Another helpful feature I'd like to address is something called widow or orphan controls. We utilize these when we want to keep information, perhaps in a paragraph, all together on the same page. So as you can see in this document, History, I've got a paragraph that begins with by 1980 and 2 lines are on the next page. If we wanted to keep that together without using physical page breaks, from the Home tab, we could go to our paragraph launcher, and one of the options we have is under line and breaks. Line and page breaks allow us to have what are called widow and orphan controls. So if one line is left, it'll keep it together. We can also have what are called keep with next or keep lines together, page break before. All of these are options to you. So if our widow and orphan control is on in our pagination, or if we choose keep lines together and we say okay, notice what it's done is it's moved to the next page or created a physical page break simply because it's keeping that information together, but there is no hard return or insert of page break needed. Now let's talk about section breaks. Section breaks, as discussed earlier, we've done two things. I've made sure down here I can see I'm in section 1 because there's only one section in this document, and you can see if I scroll to the end, again, this is all section 1. So I've displayed this in the bottom so I can see, and I've assured you that this is only one section. What section breaks allow us to do is have so much creativity. So for example, a page break still keeps the same section. So if I was to format this document with, let's say, landscape, it'll apply it to the entire document. Let's say there's only certain parts of this document that I want to be in landscape. So I'm going to, instead of creating a page break, I'm going to create section breaks. On page 2, to the left of wholesale, I'm going to use a section break. It's page layout option that gives us the option for breaks. There's two different types of section breaks. There's a next page section break, which means it will start a new page. I'm going to select that now. So not only have I created a new page, I've created a new section. And if I come to this section, notice below, I am now in section 2. What makes this so powerful we'll demonstrate in a moment. Let's take a look at fundraising. Let's say in fundraising, we're going to do the same thing. I want it to be on the next page, and I want it to be a section break. This is now section 3. My document has 3 distinctive sections. One example of how powerful this is now is in chapter 8, we learned about page layout. We could change our orientation. Well, now when I change the orientation of this page, it is not going to affect the rest of my document. It's only affecting this section. Section 1 is still portrait, section 3 is still portrait, but section 2 is landscape. I can also go back to page setup and in page setup apply some of the things we've learned, but now just to this page. So let's say within this page I want to increase the left margin to 3 and increase the right margin for whatever reason to 2. And I also want to center it on the page. So I'll go to my layout. Notice how I'm applying this only to not the whole document, but this section. Center and OK. So just on this one page, I've been able to manipulate margins and page layout, but not impact any of the rest of the document. Another thing that makes section breaks very helpful is that section breaks allow you to format within a section or within a page. So for example, I have e-commerce, gourmet chocolate, and tradition continues. And I want to add some styling to these. I can select a group of text and from the page layout tab, go to columns, and I could make this say 2 columns. And now notice this is its own section. So within a section, I can have columns. So in this document now, by creating a section at the beginning, a section of wholesale where I wanted to format using different margins and orientation, my fundraising area, then I have a 4th section that I formatted with columns, and I have my 5th and final section, which is this Campbell's Confection Stores chronology. I can place my cursor to the left of that and using the breaks insert just a regular page break, and that is now on its same page, keeping that information together. So now if we look at our document, and I'm going to shrink this down so you can see multiple pages, I've got multiple sections incorporating different orientations, different styles, and even columns, all by using section breaks. The last skill we want to demonstrate in this particular chapter is the go-to. What go-to allows us to do is go to a specific place on a document. This can be very, very handy, especially if we want to go to, let's say, back to section 2. What was my section 2? This will take me to section 2. Or if I want to go to a certain page, I want to go to page 4. Go to. Later we're going to learn about bookmarks and footnotes, but navigating through a document is easy using the Go To feature.